Reid just got interviewed by a media outlet. However, there's one big problem. We're going to share that with you in a moment. Before we do, if you're watching for the first time, please do make sure you hit the red subscribe button down below and you turn on your notifications so we can bring you real news and opinion every day. Leah Brokokis for Town Hall reports with less than 1 month until Election Day, the spotlight is back on Joe Biden over the sexual assault allegations lobbed against him from a former staffer, Tara Reid, who sat down with a media outlet for an exclusive interview about the alleged incident. She went into graphic detail about the encounter with then Senator Biden back in '93 and how she told her mother immediately afterwards, who urged her to go to the police. Reid told the interviewer she didn't because, quote, they're there to protect the senators and congressmen. They're not there to protect us. Watch.
Here I am in the Senate office. Here's a good picture of Senator Biden.
He pushed me up against the wall, and then he used his knee to separate my legs.
You're right.
She was telling me to go to the police right then, and to keep what I was wearing and on, and to go to the police.
Why did you resist going to the police?
They're there to protect the senators and congressmen. They're not there to protect us.
Did you sexually assault Tara Reid?
No, it is not true.
What made you think, no, I'm going to tell the police?
I decided that people needed to know he's going to the highest office of the land. Well, I know what he's like. I know what his character's like. And he doesn't deserve the presidency based on what happened to me. He's been misogynistic. He's had sexual assault allegations, sexual harassment. He's a blue Trump. He's a blue Trump.
Now, this did hear viewers, including Senator Ted Cruz, found the story strange for one reason in particular, because it aired on 60 Minutes Australia. 60 Minutes Australia. I didn't know we had voters in Australia. I know we have a lot of Next News viewers down in Australia. They write here, such an important interview. This was what Ted Cruz tweeted. Such an important interview so close to the election would be more relevant for a U.S. audience, not an Australian one, prompting Cruz to call it the most complete indictment of media bias ever. This is the most complete indictment of media bias ever. Why does CBS think voters in Australia need to know about these serious charges against Biden, but not voters in America where he's actually on the ballot? Only explanation is that CBS News is covering up for Democrats. You can see there he was tweeting, quote tweeting, CBS 60 Minutes Australia, opponent of the opponent, a former staffer of Joe Biden, reveals why the Democrat candidate should never be president. Sunday on Channel 9, Tara Reid speaks exclusively to 60 Minutes about claims Biden sexually assaulted her. But only the people of Australia will be able to see it. Comment below, and if you're in Australia, you saw it, tell me what you think.
Good morning,
Comment
all my
below.
fellow
This is
Americans.
the next report for the Next News Network. I'm Gary Franchi. Thank you for watching that report. You know, if you work for a company for...
Here I am very early in the morning. I'm preparing myself because later on I have to go with my wife to a medical appointment, and I have to take care of her. We've been married for 43 years, and she's the love of my life from start to finish. I love her dearly, and I want the best for her, so this is why I'm doing this early in the morning, so I can comply and do my part for my fellow Americans. I want to send a salute always to my fellow members of the DAB, for which I am one of them, Chapter 11, and to veterans of all organizations, and never forget those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in order to keep our country free. You see what's happening, you know. You see what the Democrats has turned into such a perverse, evil, diabolical system or organization. We call it organization. Criminal syndicate. They're a terrorist criminal syndicate, and the thing is, they use the laws against us, and very very how you call it. Because they're not stupid. I mean, they're intelligent. They're not stupid. You know, they use the laws against us like Pelosi does. Every time she starts talking about herself or about attacking Donald Trump, she said, "Oh, we want to defend the Constitution." You know, like we're gonna believe her. A communist defending the Constitution is the one that they're gonna destroy. But they got Bernie Sanders, a communist, hardcore communist. They got AOC. They got Ilhan Omar, a Muslim person who wants to destroy Israel, wants to see Israel destroyed, and wants the United States destroyed, wants the Constitution removed, and wants our president who's trying to defend and make our country better removed from office. This is the kind of people we're dealing with. You know, I look at Joe Biden. This guy's such an atrocious liar. Why doesn't somebody ask him, hey, why don't you submit yourself to a lie detector test by an independent source or by a conservative, a very independent source who's not biased to see if you're telling the truth? You know, this guy shouldn't be running for office. He should be running maybe for how you call it, maybe president of the association for the reform of prison institutions as an inmate. As an inmate, not as an independent person on the outside. No, as an inmate. He should be in prison. But he's not. And this is all kind of people we're dealing with in the Democrat Party. They're proven to be pedophiles. They've been proved to be rapists. The other day, I think I posted one guy who was requesting how you call it, services from a boy, a Democrat member. And this is the kind of people that join the Democrat Party. These are people that are mentally ill, evilly ill, not mentally ill, evilly ill. The ones that become Democrats. Why? Because they commit all kinds of violations of the law. And the Democrat Party defends them and supports them with the help of finances from George Soros and the same Democrat system. Let me go on another. First of all, Florida, state of Florida, don't forget to vote for Maria Elvira Salazar for Congress. She's a true conservative, strong, hardcore conservative. And Donald Trump, to see if we do like we did with Venezuela, where we froze the accounts of the communists. We passed the leadership to Juan Guaido. Let's do the same thing with Cuba. Let's freeze the accounts of the communists, which have done the same destruction and are just as criminal. Pass it on to Jose Daniel Ferrer Garcia. In the meantime, until there's free elections without communism, without Islamism, without fascism, and without Nazism. You know, it doesn't make sense to create a free state with people who want to destroy it. You know, it's not intelligent. Thank God Trump is doing a lot, because I think he signed a law, I think it's in effect, where communists or people who wants to attempt against our country cannot be allowed in here. That's the way to do it. What's Omar, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and CARE doing here in the United States? What the hell is I'll even go further. What is Obama doing? Barack Hussein Obama doing in the United States? Why isn't he deported together with his husband? You know, he wasn't born in the United States. There's proof of it. There's a birth certificate. Even his own brother denounces him. And he still gets away with murder with a smile. The guy's real nice and cool. With a multi-million-dollar mansion. Where did he get? What did he produce? What did he create to deserve that kind of mansion? It's just incredible. Well, let me go to the next video here. Commie New York Mayor de Blasio sets doomsday clock for thousands of struggling business owners. Well, New York, you deserve it. You voted for communist, you deserve it. Okay. Let me put this one. I love Kaylee McEnany. She's just great. She puts a report in her place. Watch this.
Incredible. Kaylee McEnany dropkicked CBS hack Paula Reed with a brutal reality check. This is the Next News Network. My name is Elijah. Please check that you are subscribed by clicking the button below and turning on the bell. Jim Hoff from the Gateway Pundit reports that the mainstream liberal media has a record now of perverse disrespect for the president, Trump, and his administration. Their double standard is obvious, and their hatred for the president and his voters is revealed on a daily basis. On Thursday, anti-Trump CBS hack reporter Paula Reed continued to interrupt White House spokesperson Kaylee McEnany with a racist attack against President Trump. Reed would not shut her mouth and listen to McEnany and continue to speak over her. The CBS hack was obviously hoping for her viral Twitter moment. That's when Kaylee delivered a much-needed public spanking. Take a look at the clip.
FBI and the Department of Homeland Security say that racially motivated violent extremism is one of the deadliest threats that we face in the U.S. Does this White House agree with that assessment, and what is it doing to combat this threat?
The president has done quite a bit to combat this threat. First of all, last week, he also, in addition to saying he wants to prosecute the KKK as domestic terrorists, he said that lynching should be a national hate crime. Again, I think there's no stronger signal that you can send than advocating for the execution of a white supremacist, the first time there's been a federal execution in 17 years. He's been unmistakable.
It's different than actually doing it.
He's continually condemned it, and it is really...
Record on this?
It is really...
is mixed. He
It
has
is-
condemned
it
it,
is not
he's
mixed in the
equivocated at
slightest.
times, he said he didn't want to acknowledge it or address it. His record is very mixed on this issue.
His record is not mixed in the slightest. And when you go back in history, you can see that
History right here.
when you go back in
Have this
history, you can
closed.
see that Jesse
mixed.
Jackson
It's
has
mixed.
praised the president as someone who served underserved communities. This president with Mar-a-Lago, it was the first Palm Beach club open to African Americans and Jews. And in fact,
His record
he
is
was,
mixed. He
he
has
was
not been
praised.
consistent on the issue
He
of
has
white
been
supremacy. So I'm asking
entirely
you, what has this
consistent.
White House
It
done
is quite
to
shameful.
combat
It is
what
quite
the FBI
shameful.
says is
Let
one of
me
the
speak, Paula.
deadliest threats
Paula,
in this country?
We're not having a debate on a cable
You're,
news network.
you're
Right now, you need
saying
to
that
let
he
me finish.
condemns it. I have his record right here. It's
You need
mixed.
to let me finish.
His record is
It's
mixed.
quite funny that the media goes haywire about interrupting in debates and then chooses to pursue that very same tactic themselves. This is a White House briefing. You ask a question and you give me time to answer. Yes.
And that's epic. I mean, Kaylee
Okay,
McEnany
I
is
gotta
very
stop right here
beautiful,
because
both
time is
inside
running
and
out.
And also highly educated, is no match for these terribly mismannered reporters who continue.
I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna leave with the last one here. Where reporters then suffer meltdown over Trump's drive-by in motorcade yesterday. Well, it would be the day before yesterday. I want you to see this. Thank God, Trump has recuperated, now back in his job. We love you. We needed you. You're the person who inspire us to do what we do, and we thank you very much. We thank God and we pray for you. I pray for you every day. I pray for Mike Pence also, his family, that God protect both of you and your families. And may God bless our country eternally. And I stand with God and Israel eternally. So I'm going to leave with this last video. God bless you all. And see you, if God permits, tomorrow. Bye-bye. Tomorrow I have an appointment, my appointment with a doctor for my eyesight. I don't know if I'm going to be available, but I'm going to try to do like I'm doing now. Early in the morning, give out the news, if I have time, if God permits. So let me go with this last video and see you. Bye-bye. This from Next News Network.
Got some good news to report.
All
President
of them
Trump
have
is
been-
on the mend.
I think
Your
one of them
prayers
was from
have
the
been
Blaze.
answered. He put out this tweet. I'll be leaving the great Walter Reed Medical Center today. It's 6:30 p.m. Feeling really good. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. We have developed under the Trump administration some really good drugs and knowledge. I feel better than I did 20 years ago. Now, of course, if you don't know, President Trump, he left the hospital yesterday, and the reporters absolutely melted down. Oh yes, the media, the left, they couldn't handle the fact that President decided to go out and show his supporters and his detractors that he's doing great. Now, I've got more details, but if you're new here, tap the red button down below to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when the latest news is published. Now, Kristen Taylor for the Gateway Pundit reports that the president took a brief motorcade ride to thank supporters who were gathered outside Walter Reed National Military Center in Bethesda, Maryland on Sunday afternoon. The ride served to show how well the president is doing with his infection by the virus that put him in Walter Reed on Friday. Let's take a look at that clip first. There he is. Now, as you can see in this photo, the Secret Service agents in the driver's side and front passenger seats could be seen wearing PPE, over their heads, faces, and torsos as they do inside Walter Reed. There's also a glass partition in the presidential Suburban that separated the president from two Secret Service agents in front. Now, the president also tweeting that the media is upset because I got into a secure vehicle to say thank you to the many fans and supporters who were standing outside the hospital for many hours and even days to pay the respect to their president. If I didn't do it, the media would say rude. Of course, they continued to say that it was rude. The reporters having a meltdown over President Trump's short trip to thank supporters. Trump was accused by several reporters of endangering those agents who obviously were well prepared. CNN's Kevin Liptak said 7 months into the global pandemic that's killed 200,000 Americans, Trump says he now understands COVID after contracting it and then immediately got into a car with at least two other people to wave at people. The Washington Post, quote-unquote conservative Jennifer Rubin with campaign advice for the Biden-Harris ticket. Good thing Pence will be on the debate stage on Wednesday so he can explain why Trump put Secret Service detail at risk for a vanity ride. Have you no decency, Mr. VP? I think that's an interesting tweet. Put the Secret Service at risk. Okay. They take risks for the president every single day, don't they? Now we have another tweet here. This is from Mark Knoller. The president's doctors approved his drive-by supporters outside the hospital this afternoon. The movement was cleared by the medical team as safe to do so. Judd P. Deere, 45, tells CBS News, appropriate precautions were taken to protect the president and all of his supporting motorcade. Now, the View's Joy Behar, she said it was right out of a dictator's playbook. Watch.
Well, when I'm watching that the parade yesterday with him in the car, that was right out of a dictator's playbook, you know? Parade the dictator around so that the world and the country can see that he's still alive and he's still robust. But, you know, I thought to myself, usually the hostages are not driving the car. The thing about getting it, he certainly gets it now. Now that I get it, this coronavirus, it's not a hoax anymore. That's what he learned. He didn't learn that 200,000 people and counting have died from this. Do you know that they're projecting 1 out of 10 in the world will have the coronavirus? That comes to, I figured the whole thing out, about 750 million people will get it. In the Spanish flu...
Okay, Joy Behar, you've got it all figured out, don't you? Now, according to the latest, this morning, the White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany tested positive for COVID, but is not experiencing any symptoms. Let's take a look at this report here.
Fox News alert, 11 o'clock hour on the East Coast, and breaking news right now. The White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany has just confirmed that she has tested positive for the coronavirus. She's put out a statement. She says this: after testing negative consistently, including every day since Thursday, I tested positive for COVID-19 on Monday morning while experiencing no symptoms. No symptoms,
they state here, and she has now been added to a list of Republicans testing positive for the virus, including Senator Tom Tillis, Senator Mike Lee, and Senator Ron Johnson, as well as the RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, testing positive for the virus. And I should also point out that the Kellyanne Conway also, she's not with the administration currently. She was previously, but she's also tested positive as well. So please send your prayers to all those affected in the administration and across the world affected by coronavirus. But most importantly, thank God that the president is on the mend and that he answered our prayers. He's going to come out on the other side of this thing much stronger than he ever was. And I want to go back to that tweet that he put out here because I think it's really important to point this out. He says, I will be leaving the great Walter Reed. Do not be afraid of COVID. Do not let it dominate your